My name is Moises Chavez, and this is my presentation at Leon Creek. This is an ephemeral stream, meaning that it's usually dry and only flows with water when it rains. Because it was such a rocky environment, weathering played a huge role on how the rocks were formed. As you can see here, chemical weathering was able to change the texture and the surface of the rocks. There was all different shapes and sizes of rocks, from very large to very small particles that could be carried with the breeze of the wind. Here you can see how erosion takes place as the water is able to travel in between the rocks and take the smaller ones with it. As I went up the path, the rocks were getting larger and larger and showed more signs of weathering, from the different surfaces to the rocks that had broken off and eroded by the stream of the water. There was plenty of examples at this location of weathering and erosion and how the land was being affected by it. Here are just some examples on the result that is caused when rocks have been weathered down, turning into smaller rocks and particles, as well as how water streams are able to affect it as it flows through and picks up those smaller rocks and carries it downstream. I also noticed that there were huge pieces of flat rocks that were sitting that had fallen from the sides of the stream and that were now being broken down into smaller pieces which would eventually be carried down the stream. As I said before, the pieces of rocks were getting larger and larger. However, here you can see the meandering of the stream as it's eroding the curved side where water is pushing the fastest and making it wider. On the other side, deposition is taking place where the water isn't moving as fast. The water flow is able to break away the bottom of the rock, making it wider until the top of the land collapsed, causing a landslide. And this is why you see these enormous pieces of rocks. The huge pieces of rocks are now being weathered down and broken into smaller pieces. You can also see that the water stream is affecting the bottom rocks the most, as the water may not be high enough to reach the top ones. This is a picture from a year ago before the top of the rock had fallen down. As you can see, there was nothing at the bottom and is only being supported by the top of the land.